Yeah, you might want to get ready.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We got the Globetrotters and we got Fran on deck tonight. We're gonna get started. I can tell already just from backstage, these two guys got jokes. Um, but I was told, serious in all seriousness, I was told you guys got a lot of good stories. What type of stories? I have no idea, but I hear your stories are off the chains. And Fran is one of our special guests. She knows a lot about sports. And from what I hear, she thinks she's a guru. So let's see what
Oh,
type of questions she got for
oh my
you.
God. We can go toe to toe. We can go toe to toe. Let's see. Let's go.
Let's go, y'all. So introduce yourself for us, Otis.
My name is Otis Key. They call me Mr. OK. During my time out with the Globetrotters, spent 10 years out there on the road, had a ball, and just an incredible amount of memories.
And Hot Shot, introduce yourself for us.
There, my name is Andre Hotshot Branch in Houston, Texas, and I got a chance to play with the Globetrotters for 8 years. And like Otis say, it's stories for days, man. Every day was different. It never was a dull moment. The only time it was dull is when we went home and we still found a way to catch each other.
Klaus, is that you with all that noise in the background? Sound like you got a trash truck
Yeah,
with
that was me.
you? Well, big man don't need no introduction. Um, Fran is joining us tonight, Keith.
Oh, okay,
I
what's happening,
see.
man?
I'm the real friend. That's my Instagram. I'm the real friend, the one and only.
Oh, okay, okay, right on, right on.
So
Key,
let's get started with
What up,
this.
Dre?
why didn't you tell Branch not to come on there looking like somebody's uncle at the cookout? Put some
Man,
professional settings.
Hey, I bet, I bet you still got them Crocs on with your ankles taped up too, don't
hey, Brad, you like the way I put his nickname? The Buffet.
you? The buffet. That's
Oh,
him.
don't worry, I can't wait to tell this story.
Uh
Ain't no
oh.
story, man.
So
Dog me out.
before y'all start with your jokes and your stories, man, let me ask you real quick, Hot Shot, what you think about Damian Lillard going to the Milwaukee Bucks?
I mean, I think it was time. I mean, the man had been there for a long time, and I think it was time for him to. If they wasn't going to build there, it was time for him to explore his options. I mean, I'm happy for him. I just hope to see that he's able to blossom and get over that hill because he had some great moments out in Portland.
Yeah, good player. What about you, Otis?
I really think it was more for Giannis than it was for Dame because
Exactly.
Giannis had made that veiled threat that like, look, if y'all not trying to build for a championship, I'm out of here. So
Yeah,
you go get the hottest free agent on the market. Dame probably won't be there but a year just to lock Giannis up long term, and see if you can get some pieces for him later on.
yeah. What
And I
about
think
you,
they're I
Klaus?
think they're gonna immediately flip Drew. And I think Drew might go to Miami because he definitely ain't staying in Portland.
No, no.
What's your opinion, Klaus?
Man, I'm happy for him. It gives him a chance to finally contend for a championship. Well, get on a contender. And because that's what everybody plays for. I mean, hey, look, he paid his dues. He gave them, years of his career to get to that point. They just haven't been able to do it. It's time.
And nobody wants to move to Portland.
I don't know how Klaus could make a statement like that. You played for the Clippers.
You played for Crenshaw Rex Center. We are not the
I wasn't
same.
competing for a championship though.
He got you on that one, Kev.
Oh, all right. Hey, so let's hear some of these stories, man. What type of stories y'all got? Anybody here got a Keith Klaus story in
Oh,
Mexico?
Oh man. So look, so I love Klaus to death, man. Love him to death. So I went on this tour with him, right? We're in Mexico, our Mexican tour. So one night after the game, we all go out, whatnot, have a good time. Afterwards, we go outside the club. There's a street vendor there. We tell Keith, don't go over there and buy the food. Don't eat the meat. Don't do it. Keith decided he's gonna do it anyway. As Curly Boo Johnson said, man, he caught the wrath of Montezuma because for 2 weeks he was down. And I mean, man, you could smell Keith's room from the lobby. That's how bad it was. Man, buzzards falling, the bus around for 2 weeks. Man, he's a dead man, man. Dead man. So we have to go. I thought he was dead. We go check on him. I literally thought he was dead by the way he smelled. Me and Curly go in there. You know how they poking on the dead body to see if he move or something. How we poking on the body like man, is he all right? Is he gonna make it? But man, he stuck it out like a trooper. But man, that I really felt bad for him. As big as his heart is, man, and as good as his heart is, his guts were terrible. But he smelled like death, but I still love him.
Wow.
Hey, and that taco truck must not been good since Otis to go attack it.
Yeah, I didn't touch it, but
if Otis pass up on the food, something ain't right.
But we told him though. When you tell somebody something for their own benefit, they do it anyway. Hey, you gotta learn.
See, my whole thing, Kev, was, look, I'm from LA, man. We eat from those street vendors all the time. The food, most of the time the food is bomb. Now I'm in Mexico. Mexico. We're in Mexico City or Juarez.
Juarez.
I said, you know what? Now I'm gonna get the authentic joint. So it's about to be even bomber than back home. I ain't listening to this fool. I was out. I was done. I couldn't even stand up. When I opened the door, I was on all fours. I was on my hands and knees. I couldn't even stand up.
Man, this went on. This went on for a solid week or more. It was bad. It was bad.
Me and Barry was tore up.
Yeah, but live and learn.
So, man, how did y'all explain to me how you guys became part of the Globetrotters? What route did you take? Did you play college ball or what?
So for me, I played 3 years at Austin Peay State University. Transferred my senior year to Lincoln University in Missouri. Shout out to HBCU. The All-American that year. Got invited to come down and play in the HBCU College Basketball All-Star Game. Many NBA scouts were there because it was actually 4 days before Marty Blake at the time would host his big NBA pre-draft game. And so 96, we were in Atlanta and that thing was loaded. That draft class was loaded. So had everybody down there. They came over to Clark, Atlanta, where we were playing at, and for 2 days, scouted us. Globetrotters had scouts there as well. Had a great 2 days. Championship game ended up being me and Ben Wallace going at it. That game was epic. That's probably the best game I ever played in my career. And after the game, Globetrotter scout Chad Groth and Coach Tex Harrison approached me and was talking to me. But at the time, my mind wasn't set on that. In my mind, that wasn't even registering. And so I took an opportunity to go to Europe for 2 years, came back home from Europe. And I always say, man, this is how you know your steps are ordained. I came home from Europe. The next day, Chad called me and we sat and talked, invited me to rookie camp. Went to rookie camp at Notre Dame with 30 other guys. I was one of 3 that they brought to vet camp. And then out of 70 guys at vet camp, I was one of 7 that they offered a contract to. And, you know, that's probably the best decision I ever made, and kind of kicked myself I didn't make it 2 years prior.
All right, let's go, Andre Hotshot.
Well, mine's sort of similar to Otis. I played at Baylor for 4 years and went through the whole NBA pre-draft and all of those stuff that you do after school. And I went overseas and played. And Globetrotters were always here in Houston. You can always come down here to the legendary Fondy Rec Center, which is like the Rucker in New York and like the Drew League out in California as well. All the NBA players are up there all the time. But anyway, they had already saw me and they were getting ready to play their college tour. So what they wanted was some guys to play against, to scrimmage against. And I scrimmaged against them. And that day they tried to sign me, but I was already heading back overseas to play. And man, they just stayed in contact with me. And then I came home for the summers, come back to the rec center again. And that's when they tried to sign me. But I was on my way to the Philippines at the time. And one thing led to the next. And they presented a contract in front of me. And all I could hear was benefits. We're going to give you benefits. And once I heard that, then we started talking about the money. We kind of negotiated that because I had a better contract in the Philippines, and hey, they fixed it. And it's like, hey, next week you start getting paid. I say no more. So I went on and did that, and then I played the first year, and then they released. So that's when me and Keith Kloss met each other. We was on the college tour together, and then I left and went back overseas, and then they brought me back out there.
That's what's up, friend. Friend, you got any questions? What's up, Bo?
What's up, everybody? How you doing? What's up, friend? What's up, Keith?
What's up, bro? How are you?
Everything's good. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Hey, I used to love the Harlem Globetrotters when I was a kid. My father used to take me to see them. I'm older than probably everybody in the panel, but I was a kid, and my father would take me to see them at the Forum, and I thought it was fantastic. It was great, man. I couldn't play basketball, but every time I played, I used to be Curly. He was a little bald head dude. I was acting like that was him. I'd be dribbling the basketball, getting on my knees. I try to emulate him. I mean, I think it's an honor, man, to play for the Harlem Globetrotters. It brings a lot of joy and excitement to all the kids. The kids love it, man. They just really, really love it, and it's kind of cool, man. And I take off my hat to you guys, man.
So
Appreciate it.
when you play for the Globetrotters, like, is there like an age range? Like, can you play, 20, 30 years, or is there a cutoff and then they get a whole new group of people? How does that work exactly? I always wanted to know that.
When Branch and I was out there, it was a lot more competitive because the owner at the time, Manny Jackson, was really, really hell bent on owning the NBA team. So he kind of used the Globetrotters competitively as his way of saying, look, this is how I would run my NBA team. This is how I would look at the players, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was extremely competitive because not only did you have to do the things that we do within the show, but you also had to turn around and be able to show that you could play the game too at a high level.
Right.
And I always say that if I was out there right now, maybe I'd have a 15, 20-year career because it's more entertainment, more show, more make sure everyone goes home smiling and happy, as opposed to what we went through, them 3-hour practices before showtime, making sure everything was perfect during the show, 6 a.m. practices when we're in certain cities. It was basketball focused with, hey, while you're at it, you're still going to have to entertain, this stadium full of people at the end of the night.
But they have they divide you guys up, and there's like specific guys that just do the entertainment and all the tricks and stuff, and then the other group is just doing straight up basketball. Or does everybody have to learn the tricks?
At the time, it was a combo of both. That you had some guys that were out there strictly for the competitive side of it as they were getting ready to go and play the college all-stars or various summer leagues or whatnot. And then you had some guys like Branch, like myself, that were intertwined in both, that we had the personalities and the charisma to be able to do the entertaining part of it, but also we had the game that, you know, we could play on the competitive side as well.
Is it hard? Is it hard to be like that, man, and like not be so competitive and just like be more entertaining and making the people laugh? Does your competitive side come out when you're out there? For me, yeah, I play baseball and football. I don't want to play. I wanted to really. It was serious business. I don't care if we would beat a team 100-1. I still would be out there playing harder than hell. So I couldn't play. I didn't want to smile. I didn't want to do anything but play hard. So the question is to be out there entertaining the people, not like, you know, doing things that, you know, I could probably did better than that. I could have hit that shot. I really wouldn't be doing this. Is that hard? I don't know if that.
Nah, I mean, it was we did. I just speak for me. I had to make the adjustment because I came straight off the court as a competitive guy. That's what I did.
Right.
College and overseas, all the stuff that I was doing prior to come with the Globetrotter. And they brought me in strictly to play basketball. Like, we want you to put points on the board so that we can have enough room to do all the, you know, the antics that you guys see. And that was my job, to come in and shoot the ball, play basketball. And some days the other team will be going at you hard. And, you know, that's points in the game where it switches from basketball to entertainment. And yeah, you got to tone it down. And if it wasn't for a couple of veteran guys that was like, hey, man, calm down a little bit. You got 300 more games. You'll get it. So, yeah, sometimes it was hard, you know, especially when the basketball was good, you know.
Yeah. Because I just see.
So they go out and really recruit players. Like, for instance, they'll go to Rutgers Park and really like check out the talent there, and then present people with opportunities.
Yes.
Oh yeah. We had during that time we had, and you know too. That's when N1 was really big too. So we ended up getting a lot of those guys. I ended up playing with several of those guys as well.
And can't forget about Shark, first Globetrotter from Mongolia.
Yeah, you know, ended up playing with him.
Mongolia, who was playing with us.
Wait, what was his name?
Shark.
And what was his thing? Like, what made him stand out?
I mean, he was a 7-foot Mongolian that could hoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Andy smoked Newport.
Andy what?
Andy smoked Newport.
Have a cigarette in one hand and the ball in the other.
Yeah, he was different.
And I did both. I started with the competitive team with the college tour, right? And then eventually they brought me on over to the show team. And so Branch, it was his responsibility, his long responsibility with me was to teach me how to spin a ball on my finger, because that's one thing I just never knew how to do growing up. He failed at that. So, you know, to this day, I still can't spin a ball on my damn finger, all because of that dude. But see, the coach at the time.
Man, you got all that taco grease on your finger.
I think it was that tequila. But you're trying to spin 3 balls at once. But you know, Tex, who was our coach at the time, Globetrotter, you know, legend, played for the team for what? Tex played like 20 years or something. You know, he was a coach at the time. And they used to fine us every time we messed up the ring. You know, and I think I led the league. I led the team in fines. I probably broke a record. Every time.
That's a record that you can take back, huh?
Every time I fucked up a ring, 50. You know, 50.
You should have fined you for the way you smell that day.
Should have fined you for the way you built. Built like a bean. Oh, build a bear, Otis Key.
Hey, keep going up, teammates. Said you love to have in the locker room, on the bench. I mean, just sitting there like you was cracking jokes, but playing hard. a hard ass player and a good player, but you were on them. I could tell you always had a motherfucker's back. I told my friend, told me I'm gonna stop cussing so much. You always had a person's back, man. You probably was a real good teammate. I was the opposite. If I wasn't playing, I was not happy. And whoever was playing in front of me, I hope they broke their neck. I was one of them. I hope this nigga get hurt. I mean, go put me on the bench. I hope this nigga get hurt.
Look, playing 300 games, sometimes you was happy that dude was playing in front of you.
Yeah.
So that means you can sit down and rest.
Okay.
300 games a year?
Yes.
And that, you know, that's
What?
nice.
Baseball too.
You
Baseball
running double headers.
Yeah, you're not counting double headers. You're not counting. It's a lot. Like one year we went to South America and we were only supposed to be down there 14 days.
That's a lot of games.
You know, we was only supposed to be in South America 14 days and 14 days of double headers. Well, the last night, people broke into the tickets office and stole all the tickets because they were mad that some people didn't get to come to the game because it was sold out for 14 straight days.
Right.
So they added another 7 days of double headers just to appease, you know, everybody. So we're down there 21 straight days in Buenos Aires, Argentina, of double headers. Every show sold out, and you can't mess up, you know, because that's your job's on the line.
Right.
So having that dude in front of you, hey, I was happy.
Yeah, I feel you.
I was happy.
That has to be the best part of the whole experience is going to different countries, meeting so many different people, you know?
That had to be fun.
It is. You know, I always tell people,
amazing, man.
You know, they pay to see the show on the court, but the real show happens on the bus, on the planes, and in the locker room.
Yeah.
The hotels. That is the real. If cameras could go there, boy, they definitely make some money because that's the last right there.
A whole team of comedians, man.
No, but see, I'm gonna be real though. All the pretty girls everywhere you go is pretty women everywhere. That's what a nigga.
Were you guys single during that time, or were you guys married?
Single.
I guess that would have been best.
I was single on the road.
Yeah.
What you up top? You was single too?
Who, me?
Yeah, you was single too?
Yeah.
Look at that head.
I was gonna say that.
Look at that head he got. Of course, ain't nobody gonna go with that head.
You guys need to stop.
But you know, one of the great things about it, man, was everybody on that team could legit ball. You know, could flat out ball, man, and so the practices were competitive as hell because everybody, we love playing the game, and so nobody got any passes out there. I didn't get no pass when I came. I joined the team right after 9/11 when I got back from Italy. So as soon as I got there and got into a practice, the first practice with them dudes, I saw that it wasn't no joke. Because they trying to dunk on me. You got dudes that's jumping 45 and 50 inches, and what was Mike's first, like 50, 55 inches?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you had to be ready. Otherwise, you was gonna get embarrassed out there.
Yeah, like Keith say, it was for me, and Keith can probably say the same thing. It felt like it was a reunion because some of the guys that you ran across when you were going through NBA camps, a lot of them came through the Globetrotter camps as well. So, and I'm talking about it was like an NBA practice at times, and we go to Europe sometime, and like we'll play like the French national team. They want to play us, and the owner was like, "Okay, we're gonna play them. Let's play them. We'll beat them, and then we go back to doing the show." Like it was always the smoke was ready. We was ready to get it up.
My rookie year, we played the end of the tour, my very first tour to Europe. We ended it in Beirut, Lebanon, and we had to play the top 4 Lebanese Federation champions all in the same night. Every team got 12 minutes. And you talking about, you just finished playing a really hard competitive 12 minutes, and then here comes another team fresh off coming at your head. And the owner said, well, he's not trying to be embarrassed. He's not trying to have, the loss. So, like Brent said, you had to come with it. It was no letdown because that was your job. You have a bad. I saw guys they might be at the morning session practice, afternoon session they don't show up. You like, are they running late? This that and like, no, they headed back to the airport because they got cut because they had a bad practice. So it was definitely very, very competitive.
They'll
After a
cut
bad
you.
practice, they cut you after a bad practice.
That's
Oh,
what I was gonna say.
telling
Damn,
you, it was
Yeah, it was cutthroat, man.
that's a cold ticket right there, boy.
It sounded cutthroat.
You know,
It
the cat
was.
get flown in and immediately have to go to practice, have a bad practice. First thing they like, oh, okay, well, he's not what we thought he was. Just gonna send him back home.
Damn.
So who was you guys' toughest competition?
Ourselves.
Yep.
Besides yourself, though,
It wasn't ourselves.
Yeah.
y'all was
Because
just blowing teams.
like he say, man, we all respectfully could play. I mean, I know the illusion from the outside world was like, they full of tricks, but no, we legitimately could play.
No, let me tell you something. Let me sock you in your tracks. I don't think anybody thought y'all was full of tricks because you guys would do some tricks that's amazing. Like if he did that and made that kind of shot.
I remember summer league. First rookie year we played in the Rocky Mountain Summer League, won it. And man, these guys, and I'm a rookie, so I'm out there just hooping. But to watch some of the veteran guys that have been there 4, 5, 6, 7 years and start doing some of the things we do in the game for show during this competitive game, I'm like, man, are you serious? Because I was like, man, that's it's scripted. It's not supposed to work when you're actually playing hard competition for real. And then here they go doing it, and we're sitting on the bench cracking up, laughing because it's like not only is it working, but it's looking flawless.
Right.
And so yeah, the guys could do both, man. We could definitely hoop and at the same time flip that switch and entertain you when we had to.
Hey, that's funny you said that. Somebody just asked, were the games scripted or is the talent level just different between Globetrotters and their opponents?
I mean, when you come to a Globetrotter game, there's just some things you expect to see, and so those are the things that we make sure that you go home happy with. But I'm telling you, Manny Jackson, when you saw them 5 guys get up off the bench, he expected flat out hooping, and he expected, like Andre said, points to go up on the board, that comfortable lead, and then we can go back to entertaining and make sure everybody gets home happy.
Do I still do that with the bucket of water, man? To act like they were throwing water and it'd be full of confetti.
Yeah, that's what oldest was talking about. The traditional things.
Bo, you having childhood memories?
Yeah, they used to act like they were throwing a bucket of water, it'd be full of confetti. That's all you want to sit in the front, man. My father was, was born in Texas. My father was real cheap and wouldn't spend no money. We got in the game. That was as far as it went. They could get no peanuts, no nothing. He was like, even before you get there, that's my father. Like, damn. Had to eat in the car, get nothing. But I always want to sit down there and get the confetti and be a part of the game, man, like all the kids. It's always the white kids down there, though. But the brothers be way in the back. And it used to be a lot of people, though, them games, though. Them games used to be almost
Look, it's still like that now.
packed out. It used to be a lot of, they almost filled up.
Because it's almost like tradition, parents taking their kids, grandparents, and
yes, exactly, dude. It was
tradition.
a tradition, man.
That is that is so thrilling for a kid. That's the most thrilling thing for a young kid.
And the thing about it is, you can't do that in no other sport. You can't do it in football or baseball. Basketball is where you could do all that and just entertain and have a great time. And I know I said it, and I reiterate on it. I hope I said that word right. Reiterate. I used to think y'all could. I knew y'all could play because some of the shots was like, damn, he passed the ball behind his back, and the no-look pass that really came from the Harlem Globetrotters. Magic probably took it from y'all. The no-look pass and sky hooking and doing all that wild. That shit would be. How the hell he made that shot like that? So I knew they could really play basketball. Them dudes could really, really play. And you kind of, you need it like when they had the bingo long. You remember that traveling baseball league, Francis? The blacks had. She knows everything about sports.
The Ringo Long traveling something. I remember that.
Those dudes would go out there and do all that kind of stuff and juggle baseballs and entertain the crowd. But Sacra Page was on that team.
Satchel Paige played the Globetrotters too.
Yep.
Did he?
Yeah. Like a lot of those guys that played in the old baseball Negro leagues, they were the ones that brought the showmanship to the Globetrotters, because Globetrotters was just a barnstorming team at first that played basketball. But you had
Barnes,
guys
yeah,
like Goose Tatum and all them guys played baseball. So what Goose Tatum would do after he'll make a big play, he'll do a trickery with the baseball, and Abe Saperstein was like, hold up, I want to get these guys because they can entertain the crowd, and then they brought him to basketball.
Hey, Captain Al, run that clip. Let us see what Otis had up in him, man. Captain Al, get on your job.
He on them now. You don't see it?
Oh yeah, I thought it was the whole video though. It's just a portion of it. Okay, I see him.
That's all right there, man.
There we go.
Still got that same edge up.
Still got the same haircut. Still got that same haircut, dude. I'm saying, still got a haircut. He got glasses on, but he still got that haircut.
That Larry Holmes.
You still got that sweatsuit?
It's in the attic somewhere.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'9".
Oh, wow.
6'9"?
Yeah.
Okay.
6'9". How you get to be 6'9"? That's fucked up.
You know, it's funny. Branch talks about.
Fair, 6'9".
It's funny. Branch talks about Satchel Paige because probably the best autograph signing I ever did. I was in Kansas City, and I was at the Negro League Baseball Museum, and I was doing an autograph signing, and this gentleman came over when I was kind of toward the end and introduced himself, and we got to talking. Ended up being Buck O'Neil. And so at
wait a minute, that's the white boy?
No. That's Negro League legend, Buck O'Neil.
I was thinking about the one 8-man out.
And so he took me around the museum personally, man, and just told me all the history, every single artifact they had in there. He was telling me about it, a story about it. And so when you go to the Negro League Museum, the very end of it, you end up on a baseball diamond with 6-foot brass statues of the greatest players for the position. And so he's walking me around, telling me about all these guys: Cool Papa Bell, Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, himself he's on there. And that was I was only supposed to be there an hour. I ended up staying 2.5 hours. I was late to throw out the first pitch at the Kansas City Royal Minnesota Twins game because I didn't want to leave. I was sitting here with him, and he's telling me all this stuff, and we're on the diamond talking about all these greats, and man, that was the greatest autograph session appearance I ever did as a Globetrotter.
That sounds fun, man. There's a story about Josh Gibson that he's supposed to have been a better player than Jackie Robinson, but he was just turned up full throttle. So Jackie Robinson was the one that was picked because he was quiet and meek, and he represented the brothers in a way where it was safe for white America to cheer you on. But Josh Gibson was really I've never seen him play. I'm just saying what I heard and what I read. He was really a better player than Jackie Robinson.
Well, Satchel Paige was also that.
Yeah.
I was going to say Satchel Paige is the one I remember. I mean, not literally. I wasn't around, but you know what I'm saying.
Hey, when I pitched, they used to call me Satchel Paige, Satchel, and it was like the biggest honor that they called me Satchel. I would wear my uniform all dusty and pull my hat down real all over my head because I had nappy ass hair like taco meat. So I try to cover my hair up with my hat, and I pull it all the way down. I don't want nobody looking at my nappy ass hair, and they literally they start calling me Satchel.
Hey,
You gotta have nappy hair if it looks like taco meat.
Bo, they wasn't calling you Satchel. They was calling you Sancho.
My name is Bo. My name is Bo. But when literally my boy Eric Sears started calling me Satchel. So Satchel Paige, I look like Satchel Paige.
Showtime, what up?
What's going on? How's everybody?
Good. Showtime, I'm glad you came on here looking professional instead of like your homeboy over here looking like he's at somebody at a backyard barbecue. Man, look at him, man.
Like he be cooking hot links.
Hey, that's that east
Like
side,
who said
baby.
He's
that?
out there.
You said that,
Brandon's
kid?
out
That's that
there
east
cutting
side.
grass,
You don't know about
cutting
that
hedges.
east side.
Hey, you know, he been cooking hot links in the backyard.
That's that east side.
No, seriously. You been cooking hot links and potato salad with some rich crackers.
Yeah. Like he's
Who we going off on? Hold up.
He
Hold up.
thought he was,
Dre,
he said,
Dre,
I'm gonna
don't get
set it off
started,
and get
Dre.
my
We
head.
just
Ho,
Hey,
ho, ho, ho. Who we
Dre,
he
going
thought
off
he was
on?
gonna set it off with that
Dre,
outfit, don't wear
Dre,
the
don't
hat.
get started.
No,
Hey,
I'm
I'm
just saying. I know when
we
you
on the
put it on, you
bus.
I'm gonna set it off. I'm gonna put this shirt on with the visor. I'm gonna set this shit off. These niggas gonna be like, damn.
He just don't know.
Yeah, he's selling fish. Man,
He came
Dre
He
out
out
looking
there
just
like a
don't
selling,
know.
tennis coach. He's like a tennis coach. Like,
like he
He
back there
just
selling
don't know.
fish plate.
your back
He got
end.
one more.
Nah, man, you looking good though, brother.
That's
Good
hilarious.
morning.
He got one more. I gotta let him have it.
Go ahead, Bo,
What?
set him off.
Hey, Brandon, let me get a fish plate and pack of knee high.
And a side of potato salad. Now he got
Boy,
the
there
new
y'all
sport
go.
in his back pocket. Satchel Paige.
There you go.
And we got Bo up here. Set your page.
That was a
That's
that
Buck
was a bad
O'Neal, man.
voice, dude.
That's Buck O'Neal, first player and manager in the Negro League.
Yeah, remember they had that movie about him with Lou Gossett played him.
So we got Lou Gossett on the call.
Oh, that was Buck O'Neal. Hey, Alan, you ain't got no picture of Satchel Paige you can pull up?
Wait, I thought that was Satchel Paige.
I think that was Buck
Yeah,
O'Neal.
he on the call.
I said that was what?
You
I can see
stupid.
That was Buck O'Neal, huh?
You guys are over here clowning.
No, we have a good time. That's what brothers do, though. So my man came in and set it off though with the cool ass outfit on. You know, but he walked in like, yeah, nigga, what? Y'all feel it? He had no clue that, nigga, if you don't take that hat off, bro.
All right, Dre. Do we need to come off the top bunk?
Yeah, Paul.
No.
Let him have it.
Dude.
We
Let him
don't
have
do
it.
that. We don't do that.
No, we cool.
Get him.
What you drinking, man? Some apple cider?
That's that coffee. That's that good Costa Rican roast.
I'm drinking Hennessy and Coke.
Oh no.
That's Satchel Paige right there, Bo.
They go Satchel
Yeah.
right there. Me as a trip, man, how them brothers got dogged out, man, as far as, you know, when the Negro League and then the Major League Baseball, they got, and I'm not disrespecting any of them white athletes. I'm not, dude. They was okay at their time, but not to be playing against some brothers that can really play. Like, they weren't having no fences, and Babe Ruth was hitting all them home runs, and then a black outfielder probably would have ran it down and caught it. But you're really playing with a bunch of just white guys that can't even run it down and track it down and catch it. So you got all them bullshit ass home runs. I never had a lot of respect for them like that, or because y'all not really playing no big competition. The brothers you keeping in the Negro League can really, really play. So the things you guys did, and the compliments and the numbers you guys put up, it's really a bunch of bullshit.
We didn't play the Negro Leagues, Bo.
No, I'm talking about back.
You said y'all, man. You said y'all,
Well,
you
you know what I'm
brothers,
talking
y'all.
about, man.
Just slide that
You
Henny
gotta love
Coke
him.
to the side, man.
Hey, Keith, let me tell you something. Keith will sit in the cut and wait to pounce on you. Say something wrong.
No, I think some of that, some of those guys and most of them really played well. I mean, but when you have athletic people like ourselves, as in the Negro League, and they were hungry, and there was a way out.
Yeah.
So they're gonna come with their best, and once we learn the game, just our talent and our ability usually take over. Just as you look at golf, you look at anything else. That's why certain calls, certain tennis, there's certain things that you can keep us out of, but things that we can naturally do without with a few costs, it's nothing that us athletes or as African Americans that can't do. And so
It's all about opportunity, and historically, we always had to be better than everybody to show, what we could
right.
do. But I noticed a couple weeks ago, I was watching gymnastics, and the top 6
Oh,
girls, there was only one white girl. They're all black. Like
right.
it's all about the opportunity. If you give us opportunity, we're gonna shine. It's just like the only thing that we're not into is like skiing. But if we wanted to ski, we would be the best at skiing. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, just think about the Jamaican bobsled. They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
even have snow and came in one medals. So
yeah.
it's just really what we put our mouth to. We're so creative
Oh
already,
man. And we always
and
put a spin on something to make it better. You know what I
right.
mean?
We have
So
created.
I see it. That's why we're all over the world. I mean,
Yep,
us and Chinese people are all over the world.
yep.
Asian people, I put it that way. Let me be politically correct. And
Right, right.
so we're everywhere. We were the starting part of the foundation of the world anyway.
Yep.
And so I think that's why we're so hated and so loved at the same time.
Yeah, they're
Um,
intimidated by what we can do because if you give us too much knowledge, we're going to run with it. You know what I mean? And
right,
that's what they keep fighting. That's why they don't even want, young kids to learn history about, what they did to us. You know what I'm saying?
right. And
It's like they
it's
always
kind
try
of
to keep
bad
us back.
because I'm sorry, I
No,
cut
go
you
ahead,
off.
baby.
No,
Go ahead.
one of the things that was bad about the history. You can talk about the Holocaust. You can talk about Asians and the railroad and different things of that
Yep.
nature that are things that you learn from and how you grow. Um, but the massacres that they did to our people, and then now you're trying to say, oh, it's not that bad. We don't do that anymore. Well, they don't do the Holocaust anymore either, but
Right,
it's talked about and it's learned about.
right.
And if we whitewash it,
Yep.
just history, it's gonna be bad for our youth who's growing up and not knowing. I mean, we think about it. It wasn't too long. I mean, I'm 55 now, and and it's not been too long. A little bit before I was born, that we just started getting rights on a lot of things. So with that alone, you got to think it hasn't been a long time, and not trying to talk about hate or anything of that nature, but you need to know it needs to be
Right.
known, and we need to talk about it.
We were talking about that on the previous show with Benoit Benjamin. We were talking about the fact that, helping your community. And I was making the point that we just got rights 50 years ago. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Black people, when they get wealth, they're not thinking about helping the community. They look within first, like what can I do for my family? You know what I'm saying? Because we're just learning about generational wealth, you know?
Well, and if you look all the way back, we started January. We started that wealth back in the day. I mean, before we got into this modern slavery and getting shipped over and selling all this stuff, we created how the world counts, how the world constructs, and so if you don't know that history, that's even worse because the history that we learn is in slavery and how we was just so bad and how poor it was and talking about pull yourself up on with your bootstraps.
Right.
But if you have no boots, how you gonna pull yourself up?
Exactly. Exactly. And they even gave us the shortest month to have Black History Month. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to get that. They don't even want us to learn any. And I feel bad because as growing up as a little girl, the history they taught us wasn't the right history. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
no.
I
I
felt
mean,
bad that as an adult, there was things like when I first heard about Black Wall Street, I was like, where was I when this happened? I never heard about this.
Right. I mean,
They've
think about
been hiding our history.
the street lights, all kind of stuff. The
Yep.
red lights, all those things were created. Heck, if
By
you could
black
take a
people.
peanut, and make paint out of it, hey, what else? You know, I mean, just
Yep.
little stuff. I mean, every major creation that happened or innovation that
Has
happened,
been with black people.
and not getting the credit on a lot of it.
Yep. They take all our ideals. It's just
Always.
like back. I don't know if you guys remember this. I might be aging myself, but I remember when the movie 10 came out with Bo Derek,
With the
and
braids.
right, and then she had the braids, and then all the white girls started getting braids, and they were like, Bo Derek, created this hairstyle. It's like, we've been braiding our hair. But anytime they do something, they put a stamp on it like they're the one that created it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Hey,
like
to
the
be
white
honest,
girls now, they're all trying to get our butts, our lips, everything. They want to take everything from us.
look, to be honest, I ain't even noticed the braids.
What, in 10?
That's because he was a little
That
kid
was like
then.
that was
He
the
was a
big
little
thing
kid
about
then.
that
Kid, you
movie
was
that
way
she
too
had
young.
on braids.
He wasn't
He
looking
just
at
seen
it.
her coming out the
Nobody
water. That's
overheard
all he
me.
seen.
Hey,
He just seen her coming out the water.
She
Oh,
didn't
that's
have
what
nothing
his body.
she didn't even have nothing to look at. Stop it. No.
But you know what?
No.
One thing I want to make clear also, we talking about it, but it's not about hate. It's not about
No, it's not.
It's about facts.
it's about facts. It's about history. Because if we don't know that we were creators, if we don't know that we're innovators, if we don't know those kind of things, how can we get better? How can we move forward? How can we
Teach.
learn things?
Yes.
But it's not about hate, and I don't understand how you gonna take the little history or the little things that out of the history books for kids to learn that everybody don't grow up dumb.
Right.
Like nothing ever happened. We just came up here kumbaya. That's not
Right.
true. It's not true. It's a lot of, and you can feel the spirits of stuff. And if you go through Florida, certain parts of Florida, New Orleans, to them swamps, you can just feel it. Just like you can just feel the spirits of just black people just looking in the swamps and looking at the stuff. Like, my God, how many people died? Just trying to get away. And how can you get away and you don't know where you're going?
So if you think about the level of cruelty that you might have to be if you actually are taking young kids to go watch a lynching, think about that. That was entertainment to kill another human being, and they felt no conscience about it. You know what I mean?
And see, and I think that's the part they're trying to hide, not the part of the history. It's just the killing that they did, people did around that time. Not everybody. So let me get that straight. Not everybody,
not all white people.
Yes, but this is what happened, and this is how a lot of multimillionaires happen with free labor.
Right.
And people don't want to talk about it, and people don't want to wrap their heads around it. But America was built on that kind of free
on
labor.
The backs of us.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
Paul, I got a basketball question. Before you came on, your fellow Globetrotters was explaining to us how hard it was to be out there competing 300 games a year, and how your job was in jeopardy because of the competition on the team. Can you tell us how hard it was for you to last for 15 years as a Globetrotter?
Well, it was hard, but it didn't seem hard. I say for me, because it was something that I think I was born to do, and I had guys that were around me like Andre and Otis and Keith came along that made the game and made what we do not only fun and enjoyable for us to play, but also easy for us to play. But during our time, we did have a lot of talented guys that came out there. And yes, were you tested daily, yearly? Yes, because we had guys that can really play. and played. I mean, you think about it. You got Keith on here. You got Andre on here. Andre's. You got Otis on here. But all three of those guys right there, played at a high level, and they played every day. And it was hard because I think it was a system at the time that was transcending from the old to us, and was still lingering. That had that kind of I won't say slave mentality, but very work hard. Let me snitch, let me yes, some boss. You had some house people, and you had some people that was on the court. I mean, it was just what it was. And but one thing I can say is that every night that we went out there and played, the talent that was out there, not only that we showed the athleticism of great ballers, but we enjoyed it, and we enjoyed each other. And that's what made any wounds or any things that were bad smoothed out. Because I know Andre is going to say something, Otis is going to say something, and if we keep Keith from Mexico eating out of the street venue, we're gonna have great we're gonna have great shows, and we'll have a great time. Because these guys are not only great athletes, but they are great men. And again, I'm like an uncle to all the kids. They're uncle to my kids. We cried together, we laughed together, we enjoyed each other. So it was, yes, was it hard? Looking back at it, I can say yes. But during the time, it was just what we did. And because we did everything, like Geese told me when I was a little rookie, that you play every game as the fans first, and you play every game like it's your last. And you don't have time for, the in between, because you had to come and bring it every night. And that was hard. But these guys, again, when you have guys of this magnitude, and the guys that are on this call playing with you, it was easy. It was really easy.
All right, I got one more question. Who was the owner of the Globetrotters when you played?
Manny Jackson. I came in with Manny Jackson. He was the first black owner of a major entertainment sports company.
How did he treat you guys?
How did he treat us? I mean, we didn't know any better. So what, from what went on, it just went on. I think it's some things that could have been done better. But again, we all had an opportunity to play on a historical team of the Globetrotters, and brought happiness and joy, and got to go to so many different countries playing this game that we love to play, and get paid for it. Other than that, I think, yeah, I always you think that some things can be better, but there's nothing to be complaining about. That we all agreed to what we agreed to, and stayed out there as long as we could. So it was not the best of, if you can, I guess it's what you're comparing it to. I think some situations could have been better, but overall it is what it was, and we made the best of every day. And I think that's, again, a testament to the great guys that came along that I played with.
That's cool. So was the money good for back then?
Yeah, I wouldn't complain. I definitely, you always want more. Let's be real. You in any job or anything that you're doing, you always want more. And during that time with us, we had guys that played in the NBA. We had guys that played overseas. You had guys that that would start off with us and went to those different levels. And again, we were compared to a lot to the NBA, as in and some start salaries. But who's compared to the NBA though? I mean, who's that money is still long and it's getting longer. But for what we did and for where we were, I think it was good. It was good pay. Was it the best pay? No, it wasn't. I think it could have been more. And you think about it. This man, Manny Jackson, had took this team that was in bankruptcy. Well, the company they had some other companies. The Globetrotters wasn't in bankruptcy, but they took that company that was people. I think altogether was like 4 or 5 million at the time, and sold it for like 150 million in like 10 years. So he was a businessman, and it was a business. And I think sometimes we get into it because of the love of the game and the love of what we do, that we sometimes don't look at it as business as we should have.
Who owns it now?
Huh?
Who owns the Globetrotters now?
I think Andre, you should. What's that? The
Hershey Entertainment.
Yeah.
You
Now,
still check
I
the game
mean,
to us?
if you look at it, I think one thing, and I always say this: if they would have did the marketing that they're doing now, with the talent that we had on those teams and what we did, I think he could have probably doubled what he sold the company with. And I mean, because what he did was he kind of cut down everything about the Globetrotters. Not cut down, but all the bad situations that they was going through the 70s and some of the 80s. Not the talent, it was just those wild times. Just like the NBA. When Magic them came, it came with something different. So when he came, he did some things that cut some people wrong. That was but again, as a business, he looked at it in a different eye than we did. And
But the things he cut out, was it needed?
You
say he cut some things down. Was those things needed to be cut down and to
Yeah,
make it
I
grow
think
and
some
prosper?
of it did. I think a lot of it did. Because you got to think about it. Okay, when I first got there, the year before, they used to have beer in the locker rooms, and have, I think, beer on the bus and different things of that nature. That wasn't a good look overall, especially for an organization like us that's supposed to be family oriented and great athletes playing. He cut some things like that it rubbed some feathers wrong. He cut some things that I think could have been a better balance of families, because the wives and girlfriends, or couldn't ride on our bus or be with us as we travel. In that regard, I think the family thing could have been a little balanced more on the in the arenas and where we go. I think they could have got it treated a little bit better, but a lot better, to tell the truth. Like you see now, the most players have their kids on the interviews and running around. Now that wasn't happening with us during the time that we were there. But I think overall, on the business side, what he did, he created he put back the mystique of the Globetrotters as athletes that can entertain than just entertainers as much as they are now. And I mean, just what it is, they just flip the script. They don't do as much playing as we did, because we played college All-American teams. We played college top college teams. We played national teams. We played Olympic teams. We played a lot of players. We played a lot of teams that we had to play, and it brought back the mystique that the true Globetrotters had at that time, was great athletes that could entertain. And so that's why it was so attractive when he sold it, because of, again, those guys that you see on this broadcast, on this podcast, that made it more visible, because we touched everybody. I mean, you had the kids that want to learn about sports and just want to have a good time. You touch them. You touch the true athlete, the basketball players. You touch them. You touch the ladies in the crowd that like basketball, like sports, but they want to be serious on both sides of that. And so we touched a lot of people that when you came to the Globetrotter game, you enjoyed it from all levels.
Hey, Paul.
Yeah.
You grew up in Kentucky?
I grew up in Kentucky.
Can you tell us your path to the Globetrotters? High school, college?
Oh wow. I came out of Kentucky. I was getting recruited by University of Kentucky with Lenny Hamilton. Joe B. Hall was there. Myself, Rex Chapman came out of Kentucky the same year. Spencer, Russell Soul, and Reggie Hansen, Nick Sanford. So there's a lot of players. I think they Clemson, everybody, Louisville, Kentucky. Joe B. Hall left that year. Eddie Sutton came. I left and played 1 year at Jacksonville State. Came to up here in Tennessee at Tennessee Wesleyan University. My agent was in Houston when I got out. Looking to go free agency with the Supersonics at that time. Got hurt. That's why playing with Andre Nim. Andre was a young fella during that time, shooting the ball from all over the place. Playing in the summer leagues. At that time, another player that was playing during that time was named Reggie Dixon, Airman. He was playing with the Globetrotters. He seen me like my personality. He said, "Man, I think you'd be good." We had a mutual friend, Chris Morris, that was like number 4 round pick in the NBA. And so during that time, we did a mini camp in Houston at the YMCA by TSU. Had a good outing. Then that's when they went into bankruptcy. The bank closed out and they went down to basically one team. So you had to go through, that kind of thing for about a year or so. Finally got another opportunity. We got the opportunity once the organization got sold, and we were in Minneapolis, and they were about what you're gonna do. I'm like, shoot, going to the Globetrotter. I can't spin the ball on my finger. What it's gonna be like. I said, man, come on. And so basically they invited me to camp. There was like 30 or 40 people there looking for like 6 jobs. I mean, we ran on the track, played ball for like a week and a half. It wasn't no jokes, wasn't no ball spinning, wasn't no tricks. You were the trick. You was a hustler. You were getting it in. I mean, if you wasn't in shape or ready to play, you didn't make it long. And that's one thing I could say about the Globetrotters, especially the time that we were there. It's certain things they look for. They look for athletes that could play the game. No matter if you can spin the ball on your finger or not, the ball got to go through the hole. So they look for people that can play. If it's between 2 people that have the same kind of personality or same kind of talent, they look at your personality because they can't have nobody choking the Pope or kicking President Mandela in the leg. You got to have somebody that has some kind of character, a little bit of character at least. Nobody's perfect. And thirdly, what do you bring to the Globetrotters? I mean, again, you got Andre Branch, a great shooter, could put the ball in the hole from all over the court. You had Otis Key, Big man, held the ball, could jump.
Beat you out of the home.
I was waiting for something. And then, you had Keith that came in a little later on in our career that All American, you seven something. Played in the league. Great human being, great person, great friend still to the day. So it's those three elements, and those are elements that I've learned and these guys learned in business. That's what you look for. Is like basically what can you bring to the globe, bring to your business? What what special attributes that you have, and being a great person with character. So you look at all these things in business now that the Globetrotters look forward in with you, and you just take that and learn from it.
All right. You sound like Let me ask all of you guys, the whole panel of Globetrotters. Of course, I'm gonna start with my boy Keith up there. So how long did you play with him, Keith?
Man, I think I lasted 6 months before I got sick and let you go.
Did y'all tell the story about that? Have y'all told them the story about Keith? Do y'all know the story what happened to Keith?
What happened?
I was there.
We talked about Mexico. We talked about what happened.
We were in Mexico.
I told you the buzzards.
You was there, right?
The buzzards was following the bus for 2 weeks because they thought we had.
Well, we said, Keith, because in certain parts of Mexico you can't even drink the water. So we like, Keith, you cannot eat from the vendors on the street. You'll be sick, man. I'm from around the way, man. I don't care about that. My son's taking. We got vendors on our street. I said, it ain't the same, man. It ain't the same. So he went out there and got on that food truck. I don't even food truck. It was with the umbrella.
It was a food truck.
That joker got that food, man. That night, that joker was in the bed throwing up, sick. He's already slim. So you can see his spine. That joke was hurt. He was hurt. And look, color. He had no color in his face. He was sick. Like we thought he was going to the upper room. The brother was done. And then he tried to play it out like I'm okay. I'm a D. I can make it. And he gone again. So we told him he got a bad food poison. But some other things said during the time, so we can't really say all the things that happened during that time. But the clean version, that's what happened.
On another note, what do you take experience from playing with the Harlem Globetrotters? It's really an honor. But what do you take from the NBA and then you take them? So I'm not asking you to compare together.
It was
from playing with the Harlem Globetrotters.
For me, man, it was an extreme honor and privilege to join these guys because of the mystique and the history, the tradition of such a legendary organization. So just being around all those guys and having the legends come through periodically, it was the coolest thing in the world because I had gone to see them play as a kid in the 80s at the Great Western Forum, and now to finally put on that red, white, and blue, and get out there with them, the sweet Georgia Brown, it was like a dream come true for me, and I really respected everybody that was there because, like I said, when I got there, I didn't know that everybody could ball out. Everybody could ball out, man. And like I said, practices were extremely competitive. Wasn't no slouches out there. I loved it. You know, I rank it right up there alongside my time in the NBA, to be honest, because we had that kind of talent.
That's a great answer.
Hold on. Hey, who was the snitch that you mentioned earlier, Paul?
Hey man, keep on with the question, man. Keep on with the question.
Yeah, because when he said snitch, y'all sure started laughing.
I'm gonna put it like this, man. You know, something we ain't gonna say his name, man. But you know, dude came up. He was like, man, look, I got some weed, man. You still smoke? You still smoke? Got some weed. So I'm like, what's it? Cool. I blow with you. You know, went ahead. We was in Mexico City. Went ahead, blew with him. And the next day, I'm put on blast. And there was only one person that was with me. So I'm sitting there, you know how that is, you know, everybody got the information and it's just two of you there. You know, who said something? The other person. You know, so what that taught me was, man, I just can't fuck with that dude no more. You know, not on that level. I mean, there was a lot big time trust broken there with that one individual. You know, but they got a good laugh out of that too, because they knew I didn't, you know, and I found out the hard way, you know, but I ain't mad about it, man. It is what it is. Is that old Rudolph?
Don't even do that. Don't do that.
Right.
See, don't everybody don't know that. That's Rockhead, okay?
What's up, Rock?
What's up, big dog?
Hey, love you, man. Glad to see
you. With you. It's always good, man.
Yeah, man, yeah. Got
Hey,
a
what you
couple fellas here from the Globetrotters that I played with back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just chopping it up, man.
Coach John.
Branch awake over there in the corner.
Who? I see him.
I'm up. I'm listening. He got
the highest. He was out there grilling oxtails.
Damn.
Hold up, Paul. You got that Frankie Beverly hat on.
So hold on. You don't come at me with, you know, I got love.
You laughing, dog. You laughing hard. You laughing too hard.
Dang. That's how the brother.
Hey, Branch, let me get a fish sandwich and 5 on pump 6.
You probably got a fish sandwich under your arm.
Hey, you know how Otis get down, man. He sit there pulling shit out of his shirt. He pulling out hoagies.
Otis like that lady. You know, that be in the church with them arms and they got that gel on their arm. Know she can cook. That's Otis right there.
Hey,
Otis,
you know what?
Do this, Otis. Pull your sleeve up and do this.
All right, Keith.
Hey, but I think going back to the question that you asked about being an honor, it was definitely an honor for me to be in the position that I was in with the Globetrotters. You know, following the great footsteps of Goose Tatum, Mel Lock Lemon, Sweet Lou Dunbar, Showbiz Jackson. These guys were Goose Tatum, Geese Osby. Those guys, you know, were exceptional and to be a master showman like them. And I know people sometimes used to back then, you know, it was called the Clown Prince, but that just didn't flow right with me. Because just of the history, you know, we already was, you know, pretty much entertainment group, but then, you know, just laughing, then, you know, a clown, and it just didn't set right. It was a lot of things by that, and so we really changed that, and you know, the outlook of it, you know, saying master showman and these showmen that we have playing around, you know, being around the showmen at that time. The history, the brotherhood, I mean, I think it's unmatched because you think about it, we were together for at least 3 months straight, going through, going around the world with these guys, and and bringing happiness and joy to people around the world. And so it's so many different stories. And two of the biggest things was playing in front of my grandmother for the first time my rookie year,
Great.
and also getting to be around President Mandela, because we was the first professional team to play in the free and democratic South Africa, and to be around him twice, and it was amazing, So being a Globetrotter, yes, was it some hard times? For sure. Was it some great times? For sure. But it was historical every bit of the way. It taught us. I think it taught all of us some things of, if we have our own business, what to do, what not to do, what we try not to do with it. Even with the school that I have now here, it's some things that I've learned from being with the Globetrotters, that enable seeing it as a business, or seeing things as a business, but also seeing the humanity part of it, and how to enlighten people that work with us, and treat everybody as a teammate, because what these guys again sacrificed and did was amazing every night. I mean, and sometimes twice a night. And for that, I'm forever grateful. I'm forever thankful to even get to know these guys in that regard.
Yeah, it's definitely a pleasure. What I think the biggest thing that I ended up learning, just being around the veterans, was the amount of doors that it would open for me, and continues to open to this day. Just having that kind of career, being around the people that I was, being able to watch guys like Showtime, like Sweet Lou, that can navigate not only the things that we did on the court, but then take that into appearances in the business world, to the boardroom, and navigate those relationships, and then turn them into things that, when your career is over, turn them into assets to get you into a different career, or whatever you want to do from that point on. And now having those same doors, I can now open for my sons and my daughters to do various things, all because I was a part of this organization and put my all into it, and watched and listened and learned while I was out there. So, I think that's been probably the biggest upside of having that career.
Oh man,
Rockhead, man, we know that you love working with kids, and your position with the Drew League. Have you ever got a chance to watch the Globetrotters when you was growing up?
I know a few of them. Some of the ones came after the original ones. A couple of the original ones. I mean, I think they did something at Long Beach State, the gold mine, back in the '90s. Was like my first time seeing them, if I'm correct. Am I
Yep.
correct on that?
Oh, for sure. Long Beach
Yeah.
was, yeah, it was hot. I was
Yeah.
there.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think what they represented, I mean, the culture they brought to itself, and even when and one was created, and one was almost like the little brother. Little kids in the playground, you know, who couldn't get their foot in other places, and someone got smart enough to say, let's create something similar. But no, Goldtrotters, they statement alone, and a lot of the things, some of the bad habits, some of the kids got from them, you know. But a lot of the good habits and sportsmanship, like my man said, the brotherhood of them is awesome. That brotherhood, man, just waking up together, eating together. Those who wasn't married, messing around together. I mean, You really had a chance to enjoy life and experience the things they experienced. I mean, they traveled the world. They was a household name. I mean, in many countries, you know, and then they built something that I don't think we talk enough for this generation today. Because this generation today is messed up. I mean, I coach travel ball, and it's gotten worse. You know, and every year it's not getting no better. You know, and I think there should be a way and have to be a way for a lot of these brothers to come back and try to educate and communicate with these kids because they don't understand the real sacrifice. Things are so simple for them, but yet still hard. You know, but I have a little history with them.
That's good. That's good, man. Hey, for you Globetrotters, somebody asked a question that I always wondered. To be recruited by the Globetrotters, did you need a special skill or did they just want good players?
I answered the first part of it. They looking for players. Well, during our time, I said they looking for players. I don't know. I've been out retired for a while. During our time, they look for players. You can get taught how to handle a ball. If doing some tricks, you can handle the ball. If you're talented enough, you can do that. But they look for you to play, be able to play the game. Looking for your character, how you carry yourself, and what specialty that you can bring to the game, to the Globetrotters itself. So those are the three major things that they look for. And again, that was during our time that I can speak of clearly. That I mean, again, you're talking about Andre Branch's Hall of Famer at Baylor. Otis Key, he's a Hall of Famer from his college too. Then Keith Klaus that's on here. I mean, he went to the league. And all three of them that I just mentioned, well, Keith did make it to the league. Also had opportunities, injuries, or certain things that didn't happen for him. All had these kind of these qualities, and you mix that with all those qualities, and you mix that with other guys that are just as very similar to them, and take their happiness, their joy, their craziness as you witness today around the world. The only thing you can do is have the championship ingredient, and what we had was to bring happiness and joy to people around the world, and they did it with excellence.
And answering that question, what percentage of it was? I know personally, everybody knew how to play basketball. That's most important. You know how to play basketball, you weren't gonna fit in. But what percent? When did it start changing the percentage of more of an entertainment than the game?
I think it's more after what 20 I think it's the company sold in especially I know after 08, 09, it really started going to more entertainment at that time. The different owners had mindset was what they felt like the basis was. Still great talented guys out there.
Yeah, yeah.
There's still great talented guys out there, and it's great. But I think the competitional pieces of it has diminished some to I guess equal out. I think with us,
can you bring me back?
They play, our owner, the owner of the Globetrotters when I came in, Manny Jackson, his new year again was a former Globetrotter himself, but it was more of a athletes that can entertain than entertainers that are athletes. And I think that changed it because when we played, right, Andre, we had to get 10 points before we even started any kind of really antics
Yeah.
to, with the crowd. And if we didn't have a 10-point lead, we couldn't really get into the stigma of what the Globetrotters were. And I'll put it that way. But that's why I said, yes, it was hard. I mean, we talk about every night, and we talking about if we in Cincinnati, Ohio, we're in Dayton the next night, we're in Columbus one night, we're in Cleveland the next, might playing a doubleheader there. We're in a different city, might be Midtown somewhere, Lexington, Louisville. I mean, we're every night, and it has to be again. Those people that bought tickets to come and see us play, we didn't care if we were tired or we just flew in or we was out last night, whatever. You had to get up and play because and we most people's Christmas presents. So we missed a lot of Christmases and stuff of that nature, New Year's, because we were their presents. And so we had to come out there every night. And then again, you got guys like this and the personalities that they have. We laughing and joking with each other during the game or saying something that kept you motivated. And the crowd a lot of times thought it was something that we were doing for them, but we were doing it for ourselves. So all the laughter and jokes that we had and we made it look fun, it just went out through the arenas. We averaged 10,000 people a night when we was there. So, I mean, it wasn't like we were just playing in front of, 5 or 6 people, except when we went to Jackson, Mississippi, was probably like, but other than that, we were around 10,000 people every night. Jackson was a different story. It was HBC. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But other than that, yeah. I mean, it was just what it was. Great time.
Branch.
Yo.
Let's get a good story, man. Keith Claus told me y'all got a lot of good stories. Let's hear one.
Andre, go and start that off.
If Andre was on one, you would burn your minutes out. Well, you long-winded, one. Ah, damn, you can talk one. If you was on minutes,
fix your mic. No stories, Klaus, man. You live?
Oh, I thought my man was
live. Come on, Branch, get it together.
No, they got stories.
I mean, like Paul say, I mean, some things we can't really discuss, but them stories are they unbelievable. Let's just say that's some things that's unbelievable. But I can just say just some of the things I was able to see, because like my journey to the Globetrotters was different. I went through the NBA side.
All right, now look like he's bringing me on now. He's bringing me on now, I guess.
Who's that?
Say,
that's
man.
Benoit.
That's Benoit. Oh, damn.
That's Benoit.
Hey, wasn't he out there with us too?
Yeah, Benoit, all that mess that happened.
Yeah,
That's when I had just got released, like a couple of days before.
Yeah, I had to answer all them questions about that too.
Oh shit!
How you gonna answer some questions about something you didn't know?
Exactly. Every interview, Brett, you gotta call Brett. I don't know. You gotta call Brett.
Yeah, but just like I was saying, for my journey to be part of a team that introduced me to the game of basketball, who would have known me sitting in the stands here in Houston, Texas, seeing the Globetrotters and watching them on Wide World of Sports, what it did to me and enthused me to want to play professional basketball. And I never thought I had the opportunity to play for the team that introduced me to the game of basketball. And so when I came out to Phoenix, Arizona, where the home office was, and I'm sitting at the table with Sweet Lou, who I saw play, I saw Geese Osby play, and I seen Curly Neal sitting over there in the corner. My mouth, I was just like, wow, like that's actually these guys here. And then when I first put that uniform on, and I seen the enthusiasm that the kids gave, and a lot of the people were just basically they didn't care who you were, they just loved what you represented. And seeing it overseas, and I played basketball overseas, but coming as a Globetrotter, it was a whole nother level because I got a chance to see some things, some very exclusive things that the average person, probably wouldn't have seen, especially when me and Paul, we went to Africa. That was big time for me to go to Africa. Like, well, this is the motherland. And just being on the ground, and they as soon as we got off the plane, it was just love shown immediately. From the time we got off the plane to the time we was leaving, man, it was just like we didn't want to leave. That's how great it was over there. And we were in London. Paul, you remember that we was in London and we had to get to Italy and the airline had shut down and we had to sit in the airport for about 3 hours waiting to get our bags, and they would let us get our bags. And we finally got them. They let 3 people go back there and get all that equipment. We got on the bus, police escorting us through the city. I'm talking about flying through the city to get to the game. The game's supposed to be in at 9. We didn't get this till like midnight.
Yep.
And the people were still there.
Jam packed, screaming and hollering. And we put on a great show for them. Then we had to turn around and play at 10 o'clock the next morning. Doubleheader. So it's things like that that I say that was my purpose. Although I wanted to experience what Keith experienced, I wanted to make an NBA roster. I wanted to, get that experience, but it didn't work out. I got a chance to take some Kool-Aid and cash a check. That was good enough. But I think this is my purpose, to come out and use what God gave me as a basketball player to come out and change somebody's lives for that whole 2 hours that I was in that arena. I think that was what my purpose was. So I think that's a bigger story than some of the other stories we have. A lot of them, I mean, it can go on and on. I mean, from Paul, we doing the water ream and Paul dashing a lady. She had never been to a Globetrotter game and she didn't understand it. So we were in the timeout. She walked over there and poured a whole bunch of beer on us, like, because she didn't know, that's how the show goes. And then when we was down in Bermuda Triangle and we was playing on that tennis court and it was hot and it started raining and all the people ran out the little arena that they made. We kept the show going. We was like, well, oh yeah, we making all the noise, dunking, and it was probably 2 people in the audience. And then the owner came in and said, "Good job, fellas. Way to be focused. Way to do this. Way to finish the show. Guess what? We're gonna do it all the way over. We're gonna bring the people back. We're gonna do the show all the way over again." Like it's stories like that are untold. But it was fun. I'd do it again if we can. If they say, "Calvin, right now, man, I want you to play 10 games," I can go out there and do it again with no problem and have some more fun.
All right, so let's be clear. It didn't take a special skill to become a Globetrotter?
You gotta be a good basketball player.
Right.
And then, like Paul say, I had to shoot night in, night out. We had guys that had to catch dunks, and coming out there on the Globetrotter thing, it's different. We have a lot of guys coming at time out they can dunk. It's different. There's no such thing as a perfect alley-oop out there. We just throwing that thing. You better go get it.
Go get it.
And if you don't go get it, we might not see you the next day. So I know when I first got out there and I saw some things happening, we doing the weave and we going hard, and I was at Showbiz my first time out there. He throws that thing up there where the asbestos is on the ceiling and tell you to go get it. And you better go get it too. And guys is going to get it. And being in practice, the practices, like Keith say, those practices were brutal. Like, we were going hard, and we could have stayed out all night the night before and probably got 2 hours of sleep. But as soon as we got to the next city, we was in the gym practicing like 3 hours before the game. So
not just practicing, hooping.
Yeah,
they bring a lot of my hangovers out.
Man,
hooping. I mean, you're
man.
hooping. You about to fight hooping.
Hey, and you get to a city and it's like 10 dudes in the stands already waiting on you before you get there. And you got to go against them. Like every day your job was a jeopardy. So I was glad I was able to be consistent. That's what they're looking for, consistency and efficient. And then the other things that Paul talk about, the character and all that stuff. If you can hold that down each and every night, and I did it for 8 years, and you know, faking injuries. Like a lot of times you're hurt, but you don't want to tell them because your job is on the line. So you just got to find a way to laugh it off and mask the pain a little bit, and then as soon as you get in that room, boy, you trying to take everything you can to make your body feel better.
Damn. So I can imagine Brett Favre while he was addicted to them pain pills.
Hey,
Hey,
I wish
I got
you
a
wasn't
question
on
real
live
quick.
right here because I sure had something about that one, Andre.
Which one?
The last part. You were right. We go to the room and make sure that, hey, we can get everything right for the next day. Get your body right.
Believe that.
Yeah.
Hey, hold back. Hey, all right, question.
Yeah.
Because Showtime,
Yes.
you are showman. You are showman. You know, and so you had to you are general out there. You know what I mean? When it came down to it, and they were wondering in the chat about the tricks and everything, the rings. How much time it took? Did guys actually know that stuff before they joined a team, or was it something that was learned? But there are a couple of things that y'all showed me, you know, because I'm coming straight from the NBA and overseas, you know, and now I got to learn a few things. And I remember y'all taking me over to the side, like, all right, big fella, we're gonna start slow, you know, and building me up a little bit piece by piece. You know, people think that that's something that you already have, when in actuality, only a few people really do.
Well, you know, to answer that question, everybody has plays. You know, like any team has plays. And we just had certain plays that you had to learn and you had to be in, like Andre was saying earlier. And you got to just know your position, you know, point guard, swing guard, whatever. We had just disposition plays and certain things that you had to learn. You just couldn't come in there and do those plays. That's why it was like, okay, Keith, we're gonna show you this and show you this play. Get that one together because it's all about a lot of timing. What, you know, just like any other play in the league, anything else, but it was about timing. And what everybody had was pretty much was character and charisma. They had that, you know, to be you let your personality come out. So everybody has that. Everybody had that. It's just how to use it. And it kind of be taught that is not, you're not like out there like Bojangles, like you weren't there in that regard, but you had character about yourself. You had respect. You know what you did was respectable, and you was a man. You wasn't a clown. You wasn't a jigaboo or anything like that. You was a man, and you was a man that was having fun to entertain other people. And for a showman, a lot of things were spontaneous. A lot of things that was spontaneous, even with our team together to help morale. And that's why I said there's a lot of things that we did. We were so close together, and we did so many things together that we could say one thing, and everybody laughed because everybody knew what happened, and it was internally known, but the outside didn't know, and that's what made it just so more enjoyable. Excuse me. Just like, and I'm gonna use this because Keith is on here. This something like when Keith did that, ate the food. We had jokes about that. That was internal, but nobody else knew about it. But it was like wildfire. Like Otis laughing about it now. It was like wildfire while we was on the court because it just helped you like Andre said, we played at 12 o'clock at night, then get up in the next morning and had to play at 9 at 10 o'clock. What's your motivation? You know, everybody's not going to be just, oh yeah, we ready to go play. No, it was, first of all, we had to lead each other. We had to lean on each other. And then those moments that was special happened during those times that only, you know, you said about stories that we really can't say, that it was just a whole lot of stories that we can't say that would benefit us as we play. And so that just made us stronger as a group.
Now, okay, and another part of that is with, you know, concerning the magic circle. What it take to get into the magic circle?
Oh, that's the hardest part. That's the hardest part of the day.
Yeah.
You just couldn't walk your black. Oh, okay. Let me come back. You couldn't walk yourself in that magic circle. That is sacred. That is almost sacred. That's sacred ground. That you had to. It's a lot of lamp. It's a lot of hotel lamps broke. It's a lot of different things that happen. You got to learn how to handle that ball enough to get in that circle. You get an opportunity to get in that circle, and you catch that high. You don't want to get out the circle, no matter what. You get in that circle, you do not want to get out of it. And I know Andre and Otis could attest to that even more.
It's like putting on an orange jacket, man. It's like putting on an orange jacket once you're in that circle. But like Paul say, you only get one shot. If you mess up that one turn, that was your opportunity. Blown. Like you'll never get it again. And I know I remember when my first year, they told me I got 4 days to come up with something in the middle. And I went home and man, I tore up everything trying to figure it out. But my job was on the line if I did not have anything to work with. So I started asking a lot of veteran guys and watching them, what they was doing with it, you know, just bugging them. Hey man, show me how to do this, show me how to do that. And like Paul said, it was so competitive. Some guys helped you, some was standoffish, like, nah, I ain't gonna do that and lose my job as well. So you just had to like figure it out. But that was some of the, you know, extra demands that we had as a player just to get in the loop.
Otis, how was it for you when you was in the circle?
He was in the circle.
But you know, but hey, Paul, but you know, I stole everything I had in the circle from everybody else. I took a piece of everybody else and made my own circle routine with it.
That's what you had to do. Because you didn't know.
No, not at all.
Until you got your own routine, your own thing.
You see, you take a little bit of this person, a little bit of you, a little bit of France, a little bit of the guy next to you, and you make it your own until you get comfortable with it, and then you start adding different elements. But yeah, you definitely steal from each other.
But how was the thrill of being in the circle when you was in there?
Oh, every single time I went in there, I was nervous because, like you said, it's sacred. All eyes are on you. That's a legacy. You know, that's the true honor of being a Globetrotter. When you get selected to be in that circle, that means you're one of the better ball handlers, and you setting the tone for how the rest of the night's going to go. Because you get everybody's energy up based on what you can do with the ball, and once you get it up there, you don't want to let it
go. You know, I see these kids right now. You know, they do this. You know, they warm up and they do this. Like everybody get in this little circle, and the one dude dunk, and they all jump with him. And you know, have y'all seen that like high school?
Yeah.
They do that all the time. But they've been doing that. You know, when I was talking about you get in that circle, you starting it off, they calling your name, crowd, the lights are out, and there's just a spotlight on that circle. And then you get to the end of it, they start the warm-up line, they throw that hoop, and boom! I mean, it's amazing. And you know, a lot of people not giving the Globetrotters are, you know, the Globetrotters came up with the training camps. They came up with, you know, different weeks. They came up with so much innovation to the game of basketball that wasn't given, you know, that hasn't been given a lot of attention that it should have. And you know, it was back then. It was the only place that pretty much black people could play in a professional on a professional level. I mean, just like the Negro League, pretty much how it was, and and it's just an honor to be able to be a part of that. For my staff.
You know, they talk about how the game, you know, there was no athleticism back in the day when we were, you know, doing our thing. And
Hey,
I
Keith.
mentioned earlier, yeah.
Hey, Keith. Before I get off, have you talked to Big John Williams?
Nah, I know he had a heart attack.
No, I was with him. I was with him last week. He's doing better. His mechanics getting a lot better. But if you want his number, call me afterwards and I'll give you his number.
Okay.
Anybody else want to holler at him?
No doubt.
I
Appreciate
don't
it.
know how y'all gonna cut this whole thing up because this is this has been a long time we've been on this.
A long time since we did what we did.
Right. This is like now one thing we used to do when especially what was that COVID came out. We used to do these Zoom calls and these kind of calls and just all guys on here. I mean, we might have what 20 to almost 40 guys on here at a time. And just get to talk to each other just in this kind of form. And that's what it seemed like. And
Yeah. But all right, brothers, I gotta go. But I appreciate the Globetrotters, everything y'all done and doing, and keep pushing it. Y'all got my support.
hey,
All right,
you got
Rob,
some kids out there. I got a school for them.
Where at?
Yeah, I got a private school here in Tennessee.
On Tennessee?
Yep.
Hey,
come
Showtime.
on,
Oh, that's the man from American with Jim Brown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, hook
So,
them up, boss.
All right, we'll talk. All right, Keith.
All right, Rob.
All right, look, man.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Make sure you get them numbers. Yeah, I'll make sure I get you that contact.
Yeah, man, y'all got anything, any positive message to the kids or anybody that have dreams of becoming a Globetrotter?
If Otis Key can do it, anybody can.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Otis.
Well, I mean, you know, everybody's path's gonna be different, and for us, our path all went through the same way through our various respective colleges, the work there, opportunity we got to showcase that in front of a Globetrotter scout. Nowadays, you know, it's a lot different. You got a lot more females that are having the opportunity to join the team. So if there is a kid out there, hey, number one, make sure that your butt is in school doing what you're supposed to do. Make sure your game is well above par and that you're working on it daily. And then make sure that you're showcasing those talents. I mean, with social media these days, there's no reason why you can't showcase your talent for the world to see, even if, you know, no matter how small the town is that you're from. So I would definitely be looking into doing those things.
Hey, man, that's a great point. Hey, that was real good about the social media. So if you guys are listening or you guys know anybody with those type of aspirations, make sure you let them know they can do their tricks on Instagram. I see a lot of women doing tricks on Instagram. They may not make their shot, but they sure got them booty shorts looking good.
You know if you want it, if anything that you're trying to go get, if you're not in there daily, and that's not something that's on your mind about perfecting, you know, they can do anything. They can say what they want to do, you know, and faith without actions is dead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yes, you can have the faith for it, but if you don't put the actions to that work in it and getting it done, it don't matter because you don't really want it. It's a difference between like and love. You like something, you'll be around it every once in a while. But if you love it, you're around it all the time. And I guarantee everybody that's on here that played ball, from Keith to Otis to Andre, they slept with that basketball. They were always with the basketball. They, whatever sport they played, they was, they were in it. They was always around it. These kids right here, I got this YMCA kind of uh, just give it to you that you just supposed to have it, and none of us, I don't think none of us came up growing with these cones and practicing on it, because our cones, when them cones start moving, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
And so it's really about what you really want. You know when the rubber meets the road, they can say what they want. The opportunity might be there, but if you ain't prepared for it, they'll pass you by.
Yeah, well, you could tell you all had a love and a passion for it, because you said you guys playing all these games and traveling state and country to country, and then show up 3 hours before the game and y'all going hard at it against each other. So yeah, we know you had a love. You have to love the game in order to do that.
Yeah. Hey, fellas, I want to apologize for Curly Boo not being here tonight. He acted real light skinned. He had real Shamar Morris. So, my bad.
It's all good. We know for a fact some people don't want to face Jason Williams, so it's all good, man.
I believe that alone.
Go ahead, hold on to that. We know you don't want to say it.
Don't do it. Reconsider.
I'm gonna just leave that alone.
Hey, but I can say this to anybody, and just not the kids, man. Hurt is part of the process. It's gonna hurt either way. It's gonna hurt when you putting in the work, and it's gonna hurt if you don't put in the work and you had a chance to make it. So it's gonna hurt either way. And I can speak for everybody on here that how we got looks, and Keith himself, how he got the big look, and the fact that Keith was 7'2", 7'3", that's enough right there. But you never know who's watching you. And I never knew the Globetrotters had an interest in me, but seeing me every day, and they finally, reached out and shot their shot to me. They called me while I was in Spain. They called me while I was in Dominican Republic. And I was like, how do y'all know I'm down here? They had people out there, telling them about, hey, this Branch kid is over here. Like, so you never know who's watching you. It can be at the park, YMCA, wherever you are getting it in at. Man, I always be on your A game, because opportunity is waiting on you. So don't burn your bridges by, acting out, and the things that we see now that kids think are cool, and even adults to a certain extent. So, but again, hurt is part of the process.
Hey, that's good. Hey, matter of fact, that's real good, Brent. I'm about to steal that one.
God, dog.
I'm gonna just tell. Hey, you heard it. I'm gonna steal it. I'm gonna just tell, just like a ream. I'm about to steal it.
And Otis created Otis created pumpkin bean juice.
But what Otis said about social media, watch what you put on social media. Watch what you put on social media.
Yeah, no, that's why when I seen you hesitate, just stop. And that's why Andre made the statement that he stayed. So yeah, you never know you watching, whether it's Globetrotters trying to recruit you or your employee trying to fire you, man. You just never know.
That's right.
I'm used to this shit.
I remember, Andre, what you say about
job,
Keith? You
so
were
I can
7'2"
talk
and
all the
what?
shit I want.
Huh?
You said Keith was 7'2" and what?
Man, I remember. Keith probably remember this. We was down in Kentucky. Remember that Keith at that club? That big old.
He don't remember.
No, that was in Atlanta. Was it Atlanta or Kentucky?
It was Kentucky first. And you did it again in Atlanta, but in Kentucky, you out there dancing.
Hey, yeah, I had to get my walk on. The music was just banging.
Oh,
man.
he's crib walking.
Man.
Hey, it was all bloods in the club though.
Oh,
I said, hey, big dog. We started bringing the ball out, started doing tricks with the ball to calm the crowd down. But they were trying to get him.
damn, Keith.
Hey, but he out there solo, like knocking people over. He didn't care. That big old Joe knocked people over. And guess what song was playing?
What?
Rock the Boat by Leah. He was out there just
Oh,
chilling.
Oh, wow.
oh hell no, man.
Hey, Bo, you
I
have a
rock
crip
the
walk?
boat.
What?
What's that?
You have a crip walk when you do your comedy show?
Nah, dude. Hell no. I don't know how to do it. I never gangbang, so I don't really do none of that. You know, I talk all that tough talk, but hell no, I'm not fighting
Well,
nobody.
you're a comedian and you don't tell jokes, nigga. What are you good for?
I do tell jokes. I don't crip walk on stage.
He told us they call him Secho.
Hey, he thought they was calling him Satchel because he could pitch. No, nigga, they was calling you Sancho, nigga. You wasn't no Satchel.
No, I don't tell them. Hey, what Benoit at, man? He came in and went out. What happened to Benoit?
Hey, man, I want to thank you, Globetrotters, for coming on, man. I appreciate it. As a kid, I used to love to see the Globetrotters at the Forum and the sports arena. It was always fascinating to me how y'all did them tricks and spin the ball. And what was his name, Claus? Curly Neal, the ball head one? Yeah, man, that was interesting. And so I always felt like whoever came after them had to have great talent to even make it to be a Harlem Globetrotter. So props to you guys, man, and thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Man, appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
For sure.
Great show, man.
Appreciate you reaching out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Hey, thanks, Klaus, for helping put this together, man. I appreciate you.
Love you, Klaus.
Love y'all too, man.
Even though you smell like ass
Hey,
sometimes,
Keith,
still
I know
love
you played with the Clippers. Can you hook Otis up with some Clippers? God, dog.
You go back and get back on the grill, Branch.
Hey, you need to start letting people cut your hair with a protractor, man. You got that Pythagorean theorem on your head, Chuck.
And then he just go to the classroom.
Look, hey, is that a pink shirt he got on?
Hey man, it's fashion.
Look like a bottle of Pepto-Bismol.
Hey,
man, I tried to come on and look decent and presentable. You got Branch on here looking like a damn like he's working on cars in the background.
I bet you got some pink Crocs on too, don't you? In sport mode too. And you got a pair of capers on.
Yeah, you got some capers on.
With the Velcro, he got Velcro on him.
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh man.
Hey man, I'm sorry, man. I want to apologize for all the guys up here because we just went all 2 hours and that's been crazy.
No, that's actually fun, man. That's when you talk about the character, that's Keith Clark's character. So we already understand it's gonna be jokes.
Hey Paul, ain't this the longest Branch's bootleg Wi-Fi done stayed on?
Say, man.
Because any other time he bootlegging from the neighbors and we losing.
Man, let me tell you something, bro.
Y'all
should have seen this lawnmower. Y'all should have seen this lawnmower that this man had at a garage sale. You remember that lawnmower he had that he showed us a picture of?
Oh, that little
man, that thing was on a charger. That's how bad it was.
Hey, what happened to the girl? We had like 3 or 4 other people on here. What happened to them?
Oh, their Wi-Fi went out.
Oh, they on Branches playing there.
Yeah.
That's why them Zoom calls wouldn't last.
Otis, put your head down again. Let me see the top of it. Let me see the top of it, dog. Come on.
Show us that skill part.
Yeah, boy. You got that. Let me see it, Otis.
Man, I'm having these dreads next week, man.
Dreads?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it, dog. Don't do it, Otis.
Otis, you got your girls ready this year?
Yeah, I got everything beside. Everything.
Oh no, you got size.
You are the size.
See, hey, my man, this is what I'm talking about. It only takes one word and it's gone. It takes one word and it's gone.
You see, I can shut the live off, man. I'm here for the jokes, man. I'm like, they want to bag on each other. Go on, man.
Hey, look,
it's a trip though, because back in the day, Otis was hold on. Back in the day, Otis was really in shape when he was playing with the Trotters, man. You know, well-built machine. Now he is in shape.
Hey, now he built like pulled out jelly.
Like who?
He built worse than pulled out jelly now.
Did you say a bowl of hot jelly?
No, poured out jelly.
Oh, damn.
That's what happens when you gotta eat like a bird no more.
Hey, Otis still sleep with a jock strap on.
Hey, maybe his wife liked that jockey strap. It was booty out. He liked his booty out.
Nah, she thought it was a hammock.
All right, hey man, we live. We can't be talking. All right, hey, come on, Drake. Don't get started. But this is not our thing.
Oh man.
My goodness, man. Hey, thank you, Keith, for letting us on. Hey, thank you for again letting us be us on here. It's always a pleasure to be around these guys. It's video or in person. It's always a pleasure. So we're out. It's 12 o'clock. Hey, it's time for night.
Right. Yeah, y'all take it easy, man. Thanks again.
I appreciate it,
man. Appreciate it. Brandon, go finish changing that transmission in the driveway.
see, Otis, you won't let it go. See, we're trying to get over here. There you go. There you go.
I'm trying to be
man,
nice.
You have to hit the button because they stop.
I'm trying not to be rude. Hey, y'all take it easy, man.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.